You don't need a new life right now. You need a reset. Because the scary part is most people aren't actually tired from work stress or responsibilities. They're tired from carrying the same thoughts every single day. The same pressure. The same overthinking. The same mental noise that never shuts off. And after a while you stop feeling like yourself. You wake up already exhausted. You scroll for hours without even enjoying it. You tell yourself you'll change tomorrow, but tomorrow keeps arriving with the same version of you waiting there. And maybe nobody notices it. On the outside you still function. You reply to messages. You laugh when you have to. You keep going. But internally your mind feels crowded. Heavy. Like there are 50 tabs open at once and none of them are closing. You keep replaying conversations. Regretting things you said 3 years ago. Imagining worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened. You overthink tiny decisions like your entire future depends on them. And the weirdest part is even when you finally get time to rest, your brain still refuses to relax. That's not peace. That's mental survival mode. And people live like this for years. You know what happens after a while. Your mind starts treating stress like it's normal. Chaos becomes familiar. You stop questioning why you feel disconnected all the time because you felt that way for so long. Your attention gets weaker. Your emotions get duller. Small problems feel massive. Simple tasks feel impossible. You start saying things like, "I don't know what's wrong with me." But something is wrong. Your brain was never designed to absorb non-stop noise every waking minute. Notifications. Comparison. Pressure. Fear. Endless information. Your mind keeps collecting emotional clutter with nowhere to put it. And eventually it crashes quietly. Not dramatically. Quietly. That's why some people can sit alone in a silent room and still feel overwhelmed. Because the noise isn't outside anymore. It moved in. And here's the truth nobody tells you. Most mental exhaustion doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from thinking too much without direction. Your brain burns energy trying to predict, control, replay, and prepare for everything at once. You're mentally fighting battles that don't even exist yet. Every what if becomes another weight. Every comparison becomes another crack in your confidence. Your mind is overloaded, not broken. There's a difference. Think about how often your brain is actually present. Not distracted. Not escaping. Not worrying about later. Truly here. Most people can't remember the last time they experienced silence without reaching for their phone 2 seconds later. Because silence feels uncomfortable when your mind has been overstimulated for too long. But silence is where the reset begins. Not motivation. Not productivity hacks. Not another self-improvement video playing in the background while you multitask. A real reset starts when you finally stop feeding the noise. And no, you don't need to disappear into the mountains for 6 months. You don't need some perfect morning routine. You need 5 honest minutes where your brain is allowed to breathe again. That's it. Because the mind resets the same way water settles. When you stop shaking it. Right now your thoughts probably move so fast that you don't even question them anymore. One negative thought becomes 10. One bad moment becomes proof that your whole life is falling apart. Your brain starts creating stories automatically. I'm behind. I'm wasting my life. Everyone else has it figured out. And the more you repeat those thoughts, the more your brain believes they're facts. But thoughts are not facts. They're habits. And habits can change. The first thing you need to understand is that your mind listens to whatever you repeat most. If you constantly tell yourself life is stressful, your brain prepares for stress. If you constantly focus on failure, your brain searches for more evidence of failure. That's why two people can live the exact same reality but experience it completely differently. One person sees pressure. The other sees challenge. One collapses mentally. The other adapts. The external world matters. But the internal voice matters more. And maybe your internal voice has been brutal lately. Maybe every mistake turns into self-hatred. Maybe you punish yourself for not being productive enough. Maybe you've been carrying guilt, regret, or pressure for so long that you forgot what mental clarity even feels like. You're not weak for that. You're overloaded. But overload can be interrupted. Here's something simple that changes more than people realize. Sit still for 5 minutes without consuming anything. No music. No scrolling. No videos. No background noise. Just sit there and observe your thoughts without reacting to them. At first it feels uncomfortable. Your brain will beg for distraction. It'll throw random thoughts at you non-stop. But don't fight them. Just notice them. That's important. Because the moment you observe your thoughts instead of becoming them, you create space between your mind and yourself. And that space changes everything. Most people are trapped because they believe every thought immediately. They never pause long enough to question it. Your brain says you're failing and you accept it. Your brain says you'll never change and you believe it. But when you slow down, you realize your thoughts are often emotional reactions, not reality. A tired brain creates dramatic conclusions. That's why you shouldn't make life decisions in moments of emotional exhaustion. Sometimes you don't need to fix your whole life. You just need sleep, silence, air, a walk, a moment away from the constant pressure. You'd be shocked how different life feels when your nervous system calms down. And another thing, stop trying to reset your entire future overnight. That mindset is part of the problem. You overwhelm yourself with huge expectations, then feel disappointed when you can't transform instantly. Real mental change happens quietly, in tiny decisions, tiny interruptions, tiny moments where you choose awareness instead of autopilot. Maybe your reset starts with waking up and not touching your phone immediately. Maybe it starts with taking one deep breath before reacting emotionally. Maybe it starts with forgiving yourself for being human instead of demanding perfection every second of the day. Small shifts matter because your brain notices repetition, not intensity. People destroy themselves chasing massive motivation while ignoring small, consistent peace. And honestly, a lot of your stress comes from trying to mentally live in 10 different futures at once. You want certainty. You want guarantees. You want to know everything will work out before you even begin. But life doesn't work like that. The human mind craves control because uncertainty feels dangerous. So your brain keeps overthinking as a survival strategy. But overthinking does not protect you. It only drains you. You can spend hours mentally rehearsing every possible outcome and still end up surprised by life. That's why peace comes from trust, not control. Trusting that you can handle things as they happen instead of trying to solve your entire future tonight at 2 a.m. while staring at the ceiling. You don't need all the answers right now. You need clarity. And clarity only appears when the noise lowers. There's a reason your best thoughts usually come during walk, showers, late night drives, or quiet moments. Your brain finally gets room to process instead of constantly react. Modern life keeps people mentally stimulated but emotionally disconnected. Everyone's consuming. Few people are reflecting. That's why so many people feel lost even while staying busy. Busy is not the same as mentally alive. And if you really want to reset your mind, stop treating yourself like a machine. Machines can run non-stop. Humans can't. Your brain needs recovery the same way muscles do. Constant pressure without recovery creates burnout, numbness, and emotional fatigue. But most people ignore the warning signs until they completely crash. Don't wait for a breakdown to finally listen to yourself. Pay attention now. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself when nobody's around. Pay attention to what drains you. Pay attention to what constantly steals your focus and peace. Your life is shaped by what repeatedly enters your mind. Protecting your mental space is not weakness. It's survival. And maybe this is the moment you stop believing you need to become someone else to finally feel okay. Maybe you just need to come back to yourself. Not the anxious version. Not the distracted version. Not the version addicted to noise and pressure. The real version underneath all of it. The one that still wants peace. Still wants clarity. Still wants a life that actually feels meaningful instead of mentally exhausting. That person is still there. buried under noise, but still there. So take the 5 minutes. Seriously. Sit with yourself. Breathe slowly. Let the noise settle. Stop running from your own mind long enough to finally understand it. Because the moment you learn how to reset internally, everything outside starts feeling different too. Not perfect, but manageable. And sometimes that's the beginning of changing your entire life.